Kelsey and Wyatt Raiders. Connor in front of Caleb and
Welcome to the stretch run, where the stakes are high and the emotions are even higher. Welcome to a marquee must-win matchup. Welcome to what could be another instant classic. When these two teams play, there's plenty on the line, and this one is no different. The Newberry Indians enter on a 5-game winning streak and look for win number 7 on the season at the site of an improbable playoff upset from 1 year ago. Tonight, home field advantage hangs in the balance for the Indians, and with a win, they get one step closer to controlling their own destiny, while also making history for their Hall of Fame head coach. The Pickford Panthers are one of the UP's premier programs, built on being consistent contenders with a championship pedigree and an expectation of greatness. But now the Panthers face the fact that they must win to keep their perennial playoff hopes alive. It's the Newberry Indians and the Pickford Panthers in a Great Lakes 8 East Division matchup that you do not want to miss. And it's next on M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network. This is Newberry Indians High School football on M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network. Tonight's live video play-by-play coverage is brought to you by the Lewis County Veteran Services Office, Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Centers, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis, Louisiana Pacific Corporation, and the Newberry News. It's time for Newberry Indians football on M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Chuck Bennon Memorial Field in Pickford. We are getting you ready for one of the marquee matchups of the Great Lakes 8 East season. Always a thrill when these two teams get together. It's the Pickford Panthers and the Newberry Indians. Dan Hardenbrook, Travis Harrison, we are glad to have you along here from the Chuck Bennon Field. And if this thing is anything like these two teams' games a year ago, we are in for a dandy. It was week 7 of the regular season over in Newberry, a matchup of two teams that were headed into playoff positioning, but the Panthers won an overtime thriller in a back and forth battle, and they took that matchup, and the difference in that game came down to a missed snap on 4th down for Newberry in the overtime period. The Indians came back, won the playoff rematch here in week 1 of the MHSA's 8-man Division I playoff round, and eventually lost in the regional final to Rudyard. Ready to go again in a must-win matchup. Newberry comes in winners of 5 straight. They are 6-1 overall on the season, but they currently need to win to keep pace. They are trying to earn a home playoff game. They're back and forth with the Norway Knights, who have the number 1 team in the state in North Central tonight. If Newberry can edge Norway with a win tonight, and the Knights do fall to the Jets in that matchup, Newberry would move into a spot where they would be a 2 seed, get a potential home game for week 1. Of course, all eyes on them in a potential rematch with the Munising Mustangs. Meanwhile, Pickford doesn't care home or away. They just want to make the playoffs in general. It's going to be an uphill battle if they lose this one. They'd have to defeat Cedarville Detour next week and get some help. Currently 17th in the playoff point standings are the Panthers. Only 16 get in. And Travis, that puts all the pressure on Coach Rader and the Panthers here on their home field tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, like you said, a must-win here for the Panthers. Yeah, you can always rely on another team, other team getting help and that type of thing. But why do that? Why just not take care of business? You're at home in front of your fans. Just get the job here done tonight, and then take the pressure off for next week.
And I think a lot of people look at recent scores and the common matchups in this thing, and they go, boy, Newberry should have no problem here tonight. Well, 2 straight days of rain across the EUP will slow down one of the top offenses in the Eastern UP. Going to be interesting. Things have died down. The winds have calmed. It's stayed dry since about 3/4 of the way through that JV contest earlier tonight, in which Pickford dominated Newberry. So congratulations to the junior varsity Panthers on their win here earlier. Also, if there's one team, if there's a program and a coach that you want to put your chips on the table on in a must-win matchup, Josh Rader and the Panthers, one of the best groups that you could lean on in that scenario.
Definitely. Always has his guys ready to play week in and week out. Obviously had a big win last week against Engadine. No problems there. Of course, going to go against a much tougher team tonight in Newberry. So I'm excited to see, how they respond, how they come just ready to play tonight.
And it's big for the Panthers, too, because we're kind of in that fourth or fifth week where these sophomores have been rotated into the lineup. A couple of weeks ago, when Pickford went over to Munising and got outmatched by the number 2 ranked team in the UP and the Mustangs, they did so with 4 sophomores in the starting lineup. You get a game last week against Engadine where you say, boy, what a waste. Well, no, a lot of good snaps, a lot of experience that you don't get without being out on the field. That's going to be huge for the Panthers here tonight. The Indians, going to be interesting to see how they line up. They can do a lot of different things. Maddie Rahali, who's warming up on the kicking tee right now, the sophomore, might be the best player on this end of the peninsula in either 8 or 11 man. He'll line up as a wide receiver. He'll be in the slot. He'll come into the backfield. He'll run Wildcat. He's scored 14 total touchdowns, 5 different ways already this season. Pass, catch, throw, fumble return, punt return. Obviously, the Indians are going to want to get him the ball in this matchup, but he's been playing more quarterback recently. Newberry was thinking about making a change. They stick with the junior Gavin Nutkins. He was great last week, so it should be interesting to see how Newberry uses their personnel tonight. Right now, we're going to step aside as the pregame festivities continue. We will have the opening kickoff when we come back. It is M123 FM, the UP Sports Network. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community.
Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry proudly supports the communities that we call home. They're Michigan's only manufacturer of LP SmartSide siding and trim. And just like our local sports teams, Louisiana Pacific Corporation is committed to teamwork and safety and getting the job done the right way. Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry wishes all of the area athletes best of luck this season.
Hey, local sports fans, the high school football season is finally here, and you do not want to miss a single second of the action, especially because you can't see. Call my good friend, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center. They'll help you see clearly all.
There's a place to share gossip about the office party fun.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community.
Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry proudly supports the communities that we call home. They're Michigan's only manufacturer of LP SmartSide siding and trim. And just like our local sports teams, Louisiana Pacific Corporation is committed to teamwork and safety and getting the job done the right way. Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry wishes all of the area athletes best of luck this season.
Hey, local sports fans, the high school football season is finally here, and you do not want to miss a single second of the action, especially because you can't see. Call my good friend, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center. They'll help you see clearly all school year long, so you don't miss a moment of the action. Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center, Newberry, Munising, St. Ignace. Back here in Pickford, Dan Hardbrook, Travis Harrison getting you ready. The Pickford American Legion color guard presenting the colors, national anthem complete. We'll be good as long as I don't touch anything. If you hear loud crashing and banging, Just bear with us. We are ready to go, just about ready for the kickoff as the final teams get their instructions. Boy, if you love coaching matchups, you got a good one here. Josh Rader, who his Panther program has been the king of 8-man football since they made the move, a state championship appearance, a state title win. They probably would have had another in the COVID season, but they got booted in the semifinals when they were undefeated. But going back to their days in 11-man football, it's one of the longest active playoff streaks in the Upper Peninsula. On the far sideline, Joe Austin, the Hall of Famer, goes for career win number 200 here tonight. Only a handful of coaches in the history of the state have hit that milestone. Coach could not tell me what year this was. He says somewhere between 40 and 44. He's been doing it a long time. And he, of course, made most of his wins here in the UP as the head coach of Engadine late in their 11-man days, helped them transition to 8-man football, came out of retirement to help Newberry make the transition. He's had them in the playoffs 3 straight years. They've gotten one step further in each of his seasons, from being the last team left out to a first-round loss to a first-round win, and now they are looking to make the next step, and everybody in Newberry wants another shot at the Mustangs. 14-0 back in week 2 was the final. Only time Munising's been tested all year, and I tell you what, I've been with Newberry every step of the way. They have played much better football than they did in that contest.
Well, I'm excited to see what they do here tonight. Should be a really great game between these two teams. Excited to see how it's going to go down as we get ready for the kickoff here.
I mentioned how these two teams always seem to play a thriller. It doesn't matter what the record, what the standing, what the circumstances in. But the great thing about this matchup with these two teams, both teams can score points, but both teams can also lean on their defense to win a ball game if they have to. This thing could end up 55-50. It may end up 14-7. We're about to find out. Matty Raholly to kick for the Indians. They're in the white. Pickford in the purples. Right to left, Raholly, the run up. He goes with the rocket, the worm burner. Nice hop in a field at the 15-yard line. Panthers kind of get jumbled up, ran into the back of their own men there, and that'll slow the return at about the 31-yard line. What do we see from the Pickford offense tonight?
Well, what I saw last week, notice they love to run the shotgun formation, take that direct snap, do a lot of running just with that quarterback keeper. So I'm excited to see how they do here tonight. I'm sure Coach Austin for Newberry watched this film from last week, and I'm sure they're going to work on shutting that down and forcing the Panthers to throw the ball. They even scored on their first possession last week, so we'll see what they do here as they start with their first possession.
There it is, high into the left side, sweep around. Good block, gets the second level. That's going to be key for the Panthers tonight, whether they're going to run sweep or they're going to come up to the middle. Newberry loves that 3-man front. Obviously, that gives you some initial yards. The Panthers can get to that second level. They're going to be able to chew some clock and keep drive sustained, which is going to be a goal for them tonight.
Yeah, you get past that first line of defense, and then anything can happen as you get to the second, and then who knows? Then all of a sudden you're off to the races.
2nd and 1. Ball right at the 40-yard line. They'll come same thing back this way. It's not going to change a whole lot. Good initial stop by Newberry, but it's broken up, and now we get a tie-up right at the first down marker. Sticks are moving. First down for the Panthers as they lean early on number 21, Braden Altoff, the senior.
Yeah, so doing what they needed to do here on this first possession, picking up that crucial first down. You want to come out and just, start off with a bang here, and getting that first down is huge. So keep those chains moving.
For Pickford does not change from the middle school all the way up to the varsity. They do the same things. They've been doing it for years, and Altoff may have another first down here up the right side.
They do that, and, you say to yourself, man, is Newberry going to be able to stop that? They just keep running the same thing. But, hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
That is exactly right. Pickford fans have seen Jimmy Story run that years ago. Josh Harrison and Zach Sullivan were a great duo running this set last year. And these guys have been running this since 7th grade. They know exactly what they have to do. First real good stop for the Indians there. Comes on the left side. Gabe Luck, who is over 70 total tackles on the season already, 17 tackles for loss. He may be an all UP defensive end, gets the stop there for the Indians, but the Panthers move across midfield. No score, just underway, 10:20 to go, opening drive of the game for Pickford. Indians show pressure. Pickford meets it. Altoff bounces outside, spins through. And that's the thing I've seen so far on this drive. It's been all Altoff, but the first man isn't bringing him down.
Yeah, I mean, that's key. You miss that first tackle, and then you're just giving up, those extra yards there. So Newberry definitely needs to find a way to just hit him right away and get him down.
Indians, sometimes they play too fast defensively. Two tights now. They get rid of the wing and just move them up. Same thing, though. Altoft dragging a guy, breaking through. Braden Altoft. It takes Mohar, it takes Depew, it takes Juarez. The problem with that is that's your two safeties and your outside backer 10 or 12 yards down the field.
Yeah, again, breaking through that first line of defense, and he's getting to the secondary, and before they're finally able to bring him down.
Altoft might end up with 100 carries tonight. Back split to the left. Now you got to watch the counters coming back as Altoft. It's almost like a read option for him where they get him out on that corner. He can either follow the up back and cut outside, or he can follow the tight end and come back middle.
Yeah, he definitely has a few different options, and then the fact that he's taking turns, he's going right, and then he's going left. So good to see him just alternating it here and there, and it's working for him so far.
It's tough for Altoft. He's basically lining up as a quarterback. He rarely ever throws the ball. Defenses are coming for him, but he just keeps coming. Oh, they tried to switch it up. Rocket snap, and shades of the playoff game last year. It was Newberry that had almost a similar play that ended the overtime game. And now the Indians, guess who? Gabe Luck recovers it. They moved guys over. They kind of shifted. Maybe they were going to try a little speed option or something there with Altoft. But you put a new back in there. Center rockets it through his hands. Field is still a little wet. I was down there about 15, 20 minutes before kickoff. Although Coach Rader wouldn't want me to make excuses. Big hole for Juarez, the senior, to the second level. Marco Juarez is going to go on the first play of the game. Touchdown Indians, capitalizing off the turnover.
Yeah, it's always big capitalizing off a turnover, and they do just this. Last week it was the Panthers scoring on their first possession, very first play of the game. Now this time it's Newberry. So the Panthers having it done to them this week at home. So Newberry taking an early lead here, 6-0.
2-point try coming. Left hash here. If you've watched any Newberry football, this play's been in the book for 100 years. Setting up for Caduti. Let's see if they run it. There's the jet motion. Rahali will up and out. Nutkins on the boot. Nobody open. Good coverage. But Rahali on the second effort gets the catch. The conversion good. Panthers knew it was coming. Initial coverage was good. But the Indians convert to make it 8-0.
Yeah, that's just a killer there for the Panthers because, they're grounding and pounding all the way down the field, just chalking up yards, and then all of a sudden you have that turnover, and then one play. Newberry's on the board.
That's the quick strike offensive ability for the Indians, who love their points off the turnover. Normally they take a shot. They go with one of the first 2 pages of the playbook there. And Juarez, like he got shot out of a cannon. Nobody had a shot for the senior.
No, not at all. He's definitely got some wheels there as he just accelerated once he got through that initial line of defense, and there was no catching him whatsoever.
Rahali to tee it up. He's got 4 to the right, 3 on his left side. Panthers playing 6 up, and then their 2 back are way deep. Rahali does have 4 touchbacks. Run and the kick. Booted back.
Number 26, Cal Maycheck on the return. Knocked out of bounds by number 20. Brad Burton.
It's a good day.
The first attempt for the Panthers. About the 35-yard line.
Panthers bring it back out to the 35-yard line. Shout out to Bill and Georgia French Trucking. They're excited for the hockey season. Grandparents to Gavin Nutkins, the starting quarterback. Gavin's had a pretty easy go so far. Shotgun snap here. Altoft kind of spun the tires. Zach Burton busts through.
Well, finally, Indians, they're getting in the backfield and getting a stop right away. Altoff not able to get any yards there, and in fact loses a few on first down.
8-0, 7:45 to go here in the first quarter. Second drive for the Panthers. They're looking at getting behind the chains here. Indians shift to a 5-man front here. A little adjustment already from Coach Austin. Altoff, deep ball. Who says he can't sling it? That was a good-looking ball. Had the coverage beat. Juarez and Depew converging there.
I like the aggression there from the Panthers, just going for that deep ball. Had his receiver, but just threw it just a little bit too long, but it was a good effort there nonetheless.
Well, and you want to show it.
Yeah.
Even though you don't pass it a ton, and even though the team you're playing knows you well and knows what your strengths are, you still want to lay that card on the table and make them think about it. We've seen them move into a 5-man front now.
You're keeping that defense honest.
Yep.
That's what you're doing.
Get them creeping up. Here they come. Linebackers this time stack. Little fake. Pump fake and a throw. Good second effort. Juggled and incomplete. Indians initially got there. The big loss on first down puts the Panthers behind the chains, and now 4th and long. They're going to have to punt this thing away.
Yeah, a little bit of a different set of downs there for the Panthers, as only one pass and then one run and then the 2 passes. Unable to convert though.
Panthers will show the punt formation. Indians not afraid to come and try and block it. Gets away clean up the sideline, which is good for Coach Rader because he does not want 24 to have the ball in his hands. That's been the standard punt for just about everybody this year against Newberry. Indians get it back. 1 play, 1 score. This is a team last week against Rapid River that scored 59 points on 26 plays.
Wow. Yeah, then you had Pickford putting up 62 last week against Engadine. So both teams put up a lot of points last week.
Indians go with their gun offense. It'll be tight end to the right with Rahali off the line. Depew near side. They'll give to Juarez. Same play they scored on last time. They just go to the right. And Juarez has a gain of 10 and a first down.
Nearly broke that one again, though. He was very close to getting away.
Ball right at midfield, 50-yard line. Under 7 to go. Little confusion for the Indians. The whole offensive line turns around, breaking the huddle. Nutkins will take a shot, steps up, wants Depew on the deep ball, overthrew him. Kennedy kind of initially slowed down and looked back, couldn't catch back up to it. Good coverage, though.
Yeah, definitely good coverage by the Panthers there, and just not allowing the receiver to really get too much breathing room there to be able to catch up to the ball. So good job defensively, and now bringing up second down for the Indians.
I know guard Kangas, who calls the defense for the Panthers, has seen the film on Depew. Right around 30 yards per catch. When he hauls them in, they're normally big shots like that. Indians 2nd and 10 from the 50. They go heavy to the right side. Nutkins looks, scrambles, turns the corner, gets tripped up.
Good coverage that time by the Panthers. He couldn't find anybody open down the field. Decided the last minute he's just going to take off and run for it.
Big play here early in this ball game. Midway point of the first quarter. Indians on top 8-0. Looks like third and about 8. Across midfield, it's 2 down territory right now probably for the Indians. But if Pickford gets a pushback here, they may be in luck. Rahali in the Wildcat with trips to the left. That's where he's going. Lost the wheels. Never got the corner. Great job by the Panthers to funnel that to the sideline. That makes it a tough conversion now.
Panthers had that one sniffed out from the get-go, and they
He
were all
lost
over that
half
one.
a yard trying to turn the corner. 4th and 10. That's exactly what I said. If the Panthers can get a pushback there, Indians are going to show punt. Be leery of the fake. Panthers run one back late. Rahali's rolling. He's going to throw it. Slings it deep to Juarez. Caught it. Are you kidding me?
What?
Unbelievable.
I'm not going to lie. The ball looked just a little bit underthrown. Looked like the Panthers' defensive guy was going to get it. And then
The punt
somehow
returner looked like he was coming up perfectly to field the ball, and Juarez somehow comes down in his lap. A fake punt for the Indians that's worth about 38 yards. Gets them 1st and 10 from the 12. Indians back in their base set. They'll go to Juarez. Tough second push there for Marco. Him and Nutkins on that read option. Sell the fake real tight. You saw Nutkins almost get pulled along with Juarez. He wasn't giving that one up. 2nd down. About 4 for the Indians. They can get a first down without scoring. Oh, Nutkins keeps it this time. There's the setup. You've been pounding Juarez. Tuck it and go that time, and Nutkins into the end zone. And the Indians lead at 14-0 with 4:38 to go here in the first.
Yeah, they had everybody tricked on that one. I mean, all the defenders just collapsed on Juarez, and good quarterback keeper there and scoring the touchdown.
Nutkins has not ran the ball. He's kind of like the anti to Altoft, who's almost all run. But when you've pounded the rock with 3 different running backs for 7 straight weeks, now you catch them off guard with those keeps. Indians for 2. Nutkins rolls. Back corner, no good on that one. Big stop for the Panthers, makes it 14-0. They'll get the ball back. We've seen some good things, seen some not good things for the Panthers. They started great offensively. First drive ended on a missed snap. Got nothing really going on the last drive. Going to be key to see what Coach Rader comes out with here.
Well, you just think if the Panthers would have capitalized and finished off that first drive with a score, how much different things would be right now and how much different they'd be feeling. And, they're on that fake punt that we saw. If they're able to stop that, that would have been a big momentum shifter to get the ball around midfield. But instead, you give up another touchdown.
Yeah, that's a game changer right now. I believe Newberry raced out early just like this in the playoff game last year before the Panthers kind of came charging back to make it tight at the end. If Pickford was down a division, they'd probably already be locked into a playoff spot. But in Division 1, only 2 6-3 teams right now projected to make the field. Panthers trying to stay out of that log jam. Return is out to about the 23-yard line.
You got to think a big offensive possession coming up here for the Panthers.
Yep.
Got to get some points on the board here, or at least have a solid, long drive. Give your defense a little bit of a break.
If they can give their defense a break, you maybe even flip the field here. They just got to slow this thing down. 2 to the left, split set here. They're coming back the other day with Altoft. He'll get a couple. Pickford's just got to keep moving forward.
Indians doing a good job, though, since that first possession of the Panthers, just adjusting that defensive front and not allowing as many yards, especially on that first initial contact. They're making that first tackle. They're not waiting until the second or third.
They've either pre-snap switched quickly into a 5-man front, or they've stacked their linebackers and sent them. This time they tighten up around the edge. Panthers try to come middle. Nothing doing there. Zach Burton. His second tackle for loss already here. Forward progress going to make it no gain. And another big crucial third down here in the first quarter.
Panthers got to somehow find a way to pick up the first down here. They cannot have another 3 and out and give the ball right back to the Indians offense.
You can hear assistant coach Ben Rawhally on the far sideline yelling down in distance. Don't want to get caught off guard with that pass. Little give here to the left side. Walk hangs on tight. The cavalry comes. Carry there was the first new back for Pickford, Seth Miller, one of the sophomores. Fourth down, 5 to go. You're at your own 30, down 2 scores. Indians are going to play defense first. And they jumped. Rawhally came screaming back up. That spooks McNamara, who crosses over the line. And now a mistake for the Indians.
Well, that was big because, I was expecting the Panthers to punt there.
And the spot's enough for a first down by a half a yard.
Wow.
That is the fourth down break that went against the Panthers last time.
Yeah, well, they really needed that because when
I
saw them
fake and a punt lineup, the 2 big plays now early in this one. Fresh set of downs, little option fake, Altoff, left side, turns it back up. Man, he's just running so tough. His yards after contact are impressive. That's going to be a gain of 6.
Yeah, he definitely does not like to go down easy, that's for sure.
The more he gets into that back level, too, that's 4 of the 8 that are also playing on offense for the Indians. The 4 that are playing every snap, you start beating them up physically. And the eye, different look, fullback dive. And again, a good push. Things are getting physical down there here in the late stages of the first. 1:25 to go, 14-0 Indians.
See, this is what we saw from the Panthers, though, in that first drive, just little by little, just those little chunks, just working their way down the field. So we'll see if this time they're able to maybe come away with some points.
Third down, 3 to go.
Another big third down.
About their own 42-yard line here. Clock will be at a minute here as they line it up. Indians going to the 50. Nice bounce outside. Good job defensively. Gabe Luck again forces. They keep switching him too. He's been playing the wide side. Gain of a yard.
There's a good open field tackle there by the defensive player from the Indians. And so, crucial fourth down here now coming up for the Panthers.
I think the way Pickford has ran the ball. Coach Rader, got to watch the hard count here. They're going to line up to go for it. I formation. Under center. Indians shift into the 50. They jump off sides again. Guard Kangas can't believe it. They went hard count. Now he looks over to get a play. Now they got to hurry up. What's the confusion here?
They're going to let the clock go out, it looks like.
Oh, they caught a break there. It was about 42 seconds after the last play, but a good job there. Go hard count. Take the quarter break if you can get it, which the Panthers do. Score is 14-0. We are through one. It's M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
Back here in Pickford, Chuck Bennon Memorial Field, the Panthers with a 4th and 1 from their own 44. They trail it 14-0. They probably had the ball for 9.5 minutes in the first quarter. They line up in the base set. Indians showing pressure. Straight forward. That's going to be successful. 4th and 2 for 4th and 1. They get 2. That's a good job by Altoff. Just lower the shoulder and lean forward.
Well, good to see the Panthers get that first down, too, especially with the missed offsides call there right before the end of the first quarter.
Indians dodged a bullet. Well, the Panthers had just enough time to run out the clock and take that break. And I think that break paid dividends for them. They kind of got to catch their breath, regroup. Now a fresh set of downs. Altoft, dragging Rahali across midfield to the 47-yard line. Even when the first guy gets there, hold on tight because he's either breaking the arm tackle or taking you for a ride.
Yeah, he's definitely done a good job breaking those first initial tackles and forcing, more and more defenders to come on him before he finally gets taken down to the ground.
2nd and 5 now. Old school football here from Pickford. Ground and pound. Indians scored on their first play in their opening possession. Then a fake punt set them up for a quick score their last drive. Altoft hurdling guys. He is inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. The Newberry coaches are screaming. That's just tough. There's more blockers than there are defenders. Always a good play design.
Well, that had to feel good, too, for Altoff. That was his first one. He's gotten out in open field a little bit, got some extra yards.
In the gun. They're just going to sweep right side. Miller lead blocking. Seals the edge, and Altoff's going to have 6 or 7 more. It's about a C- in terms of style, but an A+ in effectiveness.
He was brought down by number 20, Zach Burton. And on the tackle again.
Coach Rader sending in the plays. Braylon Rounds, the junior. Takes the play and then lines up at tight end. Altoff straight ahead. That was a collision. McNamara in there. Juarez in there. Another short yardage conversion here. If I were a betting man, I would think number 21 was something to the near side here. They're going to go split wide. Both of those guys are eligible on the far sideline. Plus the tight end to the near side. That's why I'm up here and not down there. Straight ahead. First down for the Panthers. 9:15 to go. They've ran another 3 minutes off and a player down in what has been an injury-riddled season for the Panthers. They're calling for water, so we'll take a break. It is M123 FM and the UP Sports Network.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There's a place to share gossip about the office party fun, and a place to share the story you tell everyone. There's a place to share a laugh about when things went wrong, and a place to share the video of you dancing to your song. There's a place to share spare change, lunch, and your time. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
We are back here in Pickford, Chuck Bennon Memorial Field, 9:14 to go, second quarter. Caleb Radel, a senior, needs a lot of help off the field. This is a team that already lost their starting center earlier in the year to a knee injury. Already forced to play young with 4 sophomores now up in the starting lineup, and another tough loss for an offensive line that's played pretty well so far.
Yeah, they've played great. Obviously, blocking well for Althoff, so definitely is going to hurt here moving forward in this game.
See what the change does up front. Althoff comes around. Burton lost him. Gabe Luck lowers the shoulder. Juarez is in there. Give Althoff credit. That was a big loss that he almost gets back to the line of scrimmage. Althoff, not the biggest kid. He doesn't look like a physical marvel. He's not the fastest guy either, but he's one of those guys that I've noticed he always keeps the feet moving. He's got great leg drive, and the Panthers are going to take a timeout. Good news is that Radel is standing on his own here on the near sideline. Timeout here, 2nd and 11, coming with 8:24 to go in the second. Games around the league tomorrow. Munising travels to Cedarville Detour. That's a must-win matchup for the Islanders, who are trying to keep pace in the playoff standings in Division II, where as of last week, there were teams with losing records getting in to the projected playoff standings. Obviously, games still to play, but the playoff points had 3 and 4 or 3 and 3 teams and 2 and 4 teams getting in. Obviously, Pickford and Cedarville will play next week. The Islanders don't want to have that be a must win. Look at this. Panthers break out. Get set. The Indians scrambling. Turn the corner. Coach Rader trying to throw a little wrinkle in there.
Yeah, rushing out after the timeout.
Yeah.
I like the aggressiveness and the trickery. Yep. Yeah, set it up and go. But Indians recovered nicely there. Didn't give up too many yards.
The only thing that helped Newberry is that play's going to the far sideline where their guys are coming off. Coach Rader, he ain't afraid to try anything. And in a 14-0 ball game, they're just outside the red zone. Motion with Miller. He's just going to run a little Hitch, backside throw, wide open and dropped. It's a touchdown if it's caught for the Panthers. Oh, my. Garrett Osborne is going to be seeing that one in his sleep.
That was a perfect play call. You know, Althoff rolling around to the right like he's done most of the game. They're all expecting run, and then just goes back, fires it to the left side wide open.
I coach middle school football in Newberry. We're practicing at the same time. The high school is a lot. I'll go over and help from time to time. I can tell you that play was not in the cards that Newberry studied this week. Perfect backside. I mean, they moved the motion to the right side. They got a short and a deep route that side, and you just forget about them leaking out the back. Rounds now is going to throw. Fires a fastball. Miller kind of lost his footing. Rounds does have experience, was the JV quarterback the last 2 years. He may be the guy next year. They're going to try and pack some weight on him to run that Wildcat after Althoff moves on. I can tell you that JV team from Pickford, it looks solid. The middle school team for the Panthers, Saturday in Brimley, 7 o'clock. They're in the league championship game.
Nice.
Coach Duncan Martin and Justin Benson do a great job with the youth program here in Pickford. Juarez keeps marching. The pass from Rounds was 4th down, so the Indians back on the attack. And Marco Juarez, who is a little guy that squats almost 500 pounds.
Wow. Well, he was definitely unwilling to go down on that last play there. I mean, broke multiple tackles, spinning around defenders before finally being brought down.
You look up Juarez's address, and it leads to the weight room at Newberry High School. He'll cut it up. He's got room. Oh, runs a guy over and keeps going. Downfield blocked by Depew, and Juarez keeps on trucking. He is also fast. Comes up a little limpy there. He might just be tired. Hands on the hips.
Yeah, a couple of long runs back to back. So
with some violent collisions. Indians in their gun set. They have a tight end with Rahali to the near side. Juarez says, give me the rock. Up the gut behind that offensive line. Blake Doak, the senior. Big Ethan Pavey, the sophomore, 76. Started as a freshman last year. Tackle, other spot will rotate. You'll see Burt in there. He's starting right now. McNamara and Luck will get in there. Second and about a foot. Midway point here, second quarter. Guess who? Juarez spins, breaks a tackle. He keeps fighting. He will not go down. And a good job there by Marco to tuck and cover. The only issue he's had this season is he has had a couple of balls ripped away fighting for that extra yard.
Yeah, well, he does a nice job there once again, running for some extra yardage.
The highlight of the year for Juarez, homecoming a couple weeks ago against Cedarville Detour, he drug an Islanders player about 30 yards. Juarez, again, no, Nutkins keeps it. Dives, touchdown, he got it across. What a play by Nutkins. And the read option for the second straight drive pays off. Juarez does most of the work. Nutkins owes him a steak dinner because he punches in another short one for a touchdown.
Well, again, we see there as the Panthers unable to convert on the far side of the field. 4th down turnover. Indians capitalize once again with another score of their own.
Big plays for Newberry. We saw the long run on the first touchdown. The fake punt sets up the other one. Juarez with a big gain there. 20-0 on the conversion try here. Rahali's just going to teleport, makes a guy miss. He'll walk it in. It's 22-0 in favor of the Indians. We'll step aside. It's M123 FM and the UP Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
Back here in Pickford as Raholly sends the boot deep, mishandled by the Panthers. They'll try to turn it around. Big hit will bring that return to the end. Travis just pointed out Radel is being carted over to the ambulance. Best wishes to him. It's shaping up to be a pretty big ball game between Cedarville and Pickford next week. Obviously, a lot of time left in this one. Seen plenty of these matchups to know this thing ain't over yet.
Yeah, Pickford just really needs to put
the winner of that Pickford
drive.
Cedarville game next week's probably in the playoffs, and the loser's going to be out. Little jet motion. Altoff, deep. And Mohar, I knew it was coming. And for one reason and one reason only, he did not turn the head around. You can no longer in high school from the MHSA. That's what they used to refer to as a face guard. You got to make a play on the ball. Mohar, great coverage. You can see the Indians telling the referee, hands up. You got to get the head around.
Panthers needed something to go their way there, so that was big.
15-yard penalty. Moves it up. Tommy McKee, the lead referee, and his crew tonight. They're one of the best in the entire state. Whoa, Altoft was motoring there. Marco Juarez chops the big man down. Altoft throws a good ball. And that's what you got to do now. One-on-one, take a shot. Most likely either completion or a penalty. And Pickford, well, no sense holding back now. 4 minutes to go before the break, down 22-0. Here's the push. Turn up the middle. Second level. The Indians, you're starting to see guys are flowing to the football because they know, hey, first guy's not going to get him. McNamara sees Locke get his hands on him, knows he's got to come up and pop him because Altoft's going to keep going. Braden Altoft is going to be the color of his jersey by the time this thing is over. Third and short. Big conversion here. Miller. They went with the little guy, and he gets pushed back. Marco Juarez is just on another level right now, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you got to love it as a coach, just seeing him do a little bit of everything, offensively and defensively, making a big impact for his team.
Timeout, Panthers. 4th down and a yard coming up. I know, they're going to measure.
I thought he lost a little bit.
Yeah. Forward progress had him back. He's want the first down.
Wow.
Give Tommy McKee credit there, the white hat. He goes, hey, fellas, we might want to take a look at this. Good spot for the Panthers. They gain a yard on the spot, but They probably still feel like they're owed 4 more from the offsides earlier. Fresh set of downs. Panthers, 2 goals here. Number 1, don't let the Indians have it back. Number 2, score. If they can score with as little left, it's perfect. Altoff runs a guy over. Juarez has to save a touchdown.
Yeah, that was very close to him taking it the distance.
That's monster truck mode right there. Altoff's running harder and faster as this thing goes on.
Yeah, if I'm an Indians defender, I know I'm probably not going to be able to bring him down that first tackle. If I can just slow him down a little bit, maybe even hold him till more help can get there.
Oh, Indians got 4 guys back, 4 in the box. Altoff says, I like that. Lowers his shoulder. Juarez again.
Altoff takes the direct snap around the left end, brought down by number 15, Marco Juarez. Just a little 2 on the play, bring up 2nd and 6 for the Panthers.
2nd and 6. Panthers do have 2 timeouts left to work here. 2:15 to go. Josh Rader does not have to worry about 2 timeouts left if his team keeps moving the ball. Altoff never got the corner, spins off. He's going to get a yard. Hey, that's you run hard and you run hard to the whistle, and that's where you get the spots. That's where you get the forward progress. Spin move sends him forward here. 3rd down and 6. Interesting here. If the Indians get a stop, do they go to the timeout well, knowing that they can score from just about anywhere in the park?
Yeah, and in fact, we saw that one play, very first drive, so they can do it quick.
Joe Austin screaming pass. Panthers say we'll run. 1st down inside the 30. That wipes Newberry's half out of the equation. Now Coach Rader, with 2 timeouts left in 1:10, he can start thinking about how we want to set this thing up to score.
Panthers got to come away with a touchdown here. They're right before the half. Get any type of momentum.
Would be so big momentum-wise. Give here. Up the gut. Sneaks through. Miller down to the 20. There's the whistle. First timeout. For the 2nd timeout, rather, for the Panthers with 53 seconds. You call a couple in the huddle here. They'll get one on the 1st down. They'll get a stoppage while they reset the chains. So they can keep moving this ball. See what Coach Rader comes back with. Munising at Cedarville Detour tomorrow. The most competitive game might somehow end up being Superior Central and Engadine tomorrow. Homecoming for the Eagles. Those 2 teams have been beat up by everybody all season long. That's actually going to be a pretty good game. You saw Engadine here last week. No quitting those kids despite how ugly things were getting.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, and the fact, they've got a much smaller team, every player playing both sides of the ball. I mean, it just has to be exhausting. But, yeah, they were still able to put up 20 points on the board, so hats off to them.
Superior Central has been the whooping boys for everybody for the past 2 years. I think they're fed up. They're going to look to bring the hammer in Engadine tomorrow. Give to Miller, breaks a tackle, couldn't get quite to the outside, but he's got the 1st down. Stops the clock with 47 seconds.
Seeing the Panthers switch things up here a little bit, not going away from Altoff, giving him a little bit of a break and having some other guys run the ball for him. They're having success doing it.
Oh, they tried the reverse, and it's missed. Altoff back on top of it, and now 34 seconds left. Josh Rader's got to use his final timeout.
That would have been a killer if they would have turned the ball over there.
Little counter reverse there, and the exchange gets mucked up. Rudyard, who Coach Jimmy Suggett said, like week 3, we're in playoff mode already after they had a brutal schedule to start the season. They've now won 5 in a row. They're scoring almost 50 points a game in the last month. They get Gaylord St. Mary's, who is a top 10 team in the state. That'll be a good one. I would not want to play the Bulldogs right now. They are red hot. Of course, this one getting moved here to tonight due to the shortage of officials going on. I'll be over in Manistee where I'll have to readjust again to 11 guys on the field. They get Watts at home tomorrow. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 11, 34 seconds to go in the half. Altoff, boot. Oh, has the out route. The old sticks, incomplete, they say. Skipped past Rounds, who's now got to come all the way back across. Incomplete pass stops the clock. 3rd down. Perfect route by Rounds. Throw a little bit low. You're not going to get them all in one, Pickford, I think, saw there. So they're trying to get the first down to stop the clock again. Like you said, they got to get one going into the locker room here.
Yeah, and especially the fact that Newberry gets the ball coming out to start the second half.
See what we got here. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Empty set, tight end in to protect. Altoft. Miscommunication with Miller. Incomplete pass. 4th and 10. And the tough part about throwing the ball there is you're stopping the clock. Indians got to be ready for the pass. Wing to the left. Panthers. 4th down. Altoff rolls left. Fires. It's a first down. And, almost a touchdown. That's the same play they ran earlier, that little out route to Rounds.
That was huge. That was huge.
I thought Rounds, when he cut that thing back up the middle,
I thought he was gone.
That throw was right on that inside shoulder. You lead him up the seam. I thought he was in. Where do they spot it? They're coming back and talking here. Oh, wow. Chop block call. I didn't see a flag.
I didn't see one either.
On the play. Oh, boy. Tommy McKee and Josh Rader not going to be exchanging Christmas cards this year. You can see Coach Rader turn around in anger. They'll go wing to the right. 4th and a country mile. Altoft looks, fires, deep ball. Intercepted. Great for Juarez. His excellent night continues. Man, bat that down.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
They could have had the ball out by the 30. Instead, they'll get it at the 3. But Juarez is doing Superman things. Well, Newberry's had a 99-yarder this year. I think they've had an 88-yarder this year.
Anything's possible.
Ball is at what is left of the 5-yard line here in Pickford. Oh, boy, here we go. Keep an eye on the far side. 24 hasn't touched it on offense yet. That's where Nutkins wants to go. Fires it. Incomplete. Mike Collins, the former AD, and on the clock, tries to do the Panthers a favor. 1.9. That's a little stop and go, slant and go there for Newberry with the wheel coming out of the slot.
So what's your vote here? Do you try to throw it again and see what
if
happens?
If I'm guard Kangas, I get a second guy over there on 24. Indians are, they kneel on
Kneel
it.
it.
Wow, okay. Hey, let's not do something silly. That's what Coach Austin is saying. 22-0. They get the ball coming out of the locker room. No sense missing a snap there or fumbling the ball. And on their own doorstep, they will head to the break. We will step aside. Got This Week in the MHSAA coming up, as well as words from our sponsors. It is M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community.
Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry proudly supports the communities that we call home. They're Michigan's only manufacturer of LP SmartSide siding and trim. And just like our local sports teams, Louisiana Pacific Corporation is committed to teamwork and safety and getting the job done the right way. Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry wishes all of the area athletes best of luck this season.
Hey, local sports fans, the high school football season is finally here, and you do not want to miss a single second of the action, especially because you can't see. Call my good friend, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center. They'll help you see clearly all school year long so you don't miss a moment of the action. Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center, Newberry, Munising, St. Ignace. Call 906-291-2015. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
We highlight some special performances as many sports hit the postseason, and a huge event draws hundreds of female student athletes. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. This past weekend was the 25th Women in Sports Leadership Conference in Lansing. It is the first, largest, and longest-running program of its type in the country, and it brought in a crowd of more than 600, most of them high school female student athletes. The conference focused on the 50th anniversary of the passing of Title IX and carried the theme of Power of the Past, Force of the Future throughout its numerous workshops and sessions. There were 3 keynote speakers throughout the day-and-a-half event: Ashley Baker, the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Michigan State; Sharonda McDonald-Kelly, MSU's new softball coach; and Kim Barnes-Arico, the University of Michigan's women's basketball coach. Barnes-Arico was thrilled to be a part of the event.
Keep trying to fight for change. I think it's really important. We're 50 years into Title IX, but we're not done. And be passionate and love what you do. They were the ones that talked about, energy and bring positive energy and be a great teammate and celebrate the small victories just as much as you celebrate the large ones. So I loved speaking to the group, and they were really connected, and I think they're the groups that is going to continue to change the world.
We'll have more from the WISL conference later in the show. Game balls this week go to East Lansing Soccer's Carter Hagan. The junior scored the lone goal in a 1-0 win over Okemos, leading the Trojans to the CAAC Gold Cup final. The win also ended Okemos' 40-game unbeaten streak. DeWitt golfer Courtney Novak, she had a hole-in-one as the sophomore helped lead DeWitt to a regional golf title. It was Novak's first career ace. And to Benzie Central's Hunter Jones. He set a boys' cross-country meet record at the Portage Invitational, clocking in at 14 minutes and 37 seconds.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Jeff Kimmerly.
Team A has the ball on its own 3-yard line, facing a 4th and 10. The quarterback drops back into the end zone, and just before he's about to be sacked, he throws the ball away. Out comes the flag for intentional grounding, which would give the defense 2 points and force Team A to kick off. But the coach of the team on defense would rather decline the penalty and take over at the 3-yard line. Can he do that? Not exactly. While he can decline the penalty, the result of the play is the same, a safety for the defense. The penalty is accepted, the enforcement is from the end zone, resulting in a safety. Incomplete illegal passes end the play where the pass is made. So even if the penalty is declined, it's a safety because the play ended behind the goal line.
Thanks, Jeff. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Continuing with our coverage of the 25th WISL Conference, recently retired Livonia Stevenson Athletic Director Lori Hyman was honored with the 2022 Women in Sports Leadership Award. Hyman was a college basketball coach for 17 years before becoming a high school AD for the last 27 years. The MHSAA's Kathy Vrjink-Westorp served as the chairperson for the WISL Conference.
The Women in Sports Leadership presenters were outstanding and spoke about real topics and challenges that are relevant to current-day athletes. Comments were heard around the conference that students, coaches, and administrators found it very beneficial and enjoyed the opportunity to hear outstanding leaders in sport. It was chock full of great information, instrumental in promoting females in sports leadership. All in all, it was a great reflection of a conference for young women on this 50th anniversary of Title IX.
For more on the conference or any of our Title IX content online, please go to MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week. We highlight some special performances as many sports hit the postseason, and a huge event draws hundreds of female student athletes. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. This past weekend was the 25th Women in Sports Leadership Conference in Lansing. It is the first, largest, and longest-running program of its type in the country, and it brought in a crowd of more than 600, most of them high school female student athletes. The conference focused on the 50th anniversary of the passing of Title IX and carried the theme of Power of the Past, Force of the Future throughout its numerous workshops and sessions. There were 3 keynote speakers throughout the day-and-a-half event: Ashley Baker, the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Michigan State; Sharonda McDonald-Kelly, MSU's new softball coach; and Kim Barnes-Arico, the University of Michigan's women's basketball coach. Barnes-Arico was thrilled to be a part of the event.
Keep trying to fight for change. I think it's really important. We're 50 years into Title IX, but we're not done. And be passionate and love what you do. They were the ones that talked about, energy and bring positive energy and be a great teammate and celebrate the small victories just as much as you celebrate the large ones. So I loved speaking to the group, and they were really connected, and I think they're the groups that is going to continue to change the world.
We'll have more from the WISL Conference later in the show. Game balls this week go to East Lansing Soccer's Carter Hagan. The junior scored the lone goal in a 1-0 win over Okemos, leading the Trojans to the CAAC Gold Cup final. The win also ended Okemos' 40-game unbeaten streak. DeWitt golfer Courtney Novak, she had a hole-in-one as the sophomore helped lead DeWitt to a regional golf title. It was Novak's first career ace. And to Benzie Central's Hunter Jones. He set a boys' cross-country meet record at the Portage Invitational, clocking in at 14 minutes and 37 seconds.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Jeff Kimmerly.
Team A has the ball at its own 3-yard line, facing a 4th and 10. Quarterback drops back into the end zone, and just before he's about to be sacked, he throws the ball away. Out comes the flag for intentional grounding, which would give the defense 2 points and force Team A to kick off. But the coach of the team on defense would rather decline the penalty and take over at the 3-yard line. Can he do that? Not exactly. While he can decline the penalty, the result of the play is the same, a safety for the defense. The penalty is accepted, the enforcement is from the end zone, resulting in a safety. Incomplete illegal passes end the play where the pass is made. So even if the penalty is declined, it's a safety because the play ended behind the goal line.
Thanks, Jeff. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Continuing with our coverage of the 25th WISL Conference, recently retired Livonia Stevenson Athletic Director Lori Hyman was honored with the 2022 Women in Sports Leadership Award. Hyman was a college basketball coach for 17 years before becoming a high school AD for the last 27 years. The MHSAA's Kathy Vrjink-Westorp served as the chairperson for the WISL Conference.
The Women in Sports Leadership presenters were outstanding and spoke about real topics and challenges that are relevant to current-day athletes. Comments were heard around the conference that students, coaches, and administrators found it very beneficial and enjoyed the opportunity to hear outstanding leaders in sport. It was chock full of great information, instrumental in promoting females in sports leadership. All in all, it was a great reflection of a conference for young women on this 50th anniversary of Title IX.
For more on the conference or any of our Title IX content online, please go to MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community.
Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry proudly supports the communities that we call home. They're Michigan's only manufacturer of LP SmartSide siding and trim. And just like our local sports teams, Louisiana Pacific Corporation is committed to teamwork and safety and getting the job done the right way. Louisiana Pacific Corporation in Newberry wishes all of the area athletes best of luck this season.
Hey, local sports fans, the high school football season is finally here, and you do not want to miss a single second of the action, especially because you can't see. Call my good friend, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center. They'll help you see clearly all school year long so you don't miss a moment of the action. Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center, Newberry, Munising, St. Ignace. Call 906-291-2015. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com. Welcome back to the Chuck Bennon Memorial Field. You can see there the scoreboard counting down to the start of the second half, 22-0 in favor of the Indians, trying to get to 7-1 on the season. They get Engadine in the big rivalry game next week, so a win here basically finishes Newberry up at 8-1. Norway tonight will probably fall to 7-2. That would get the Indians. Right now, they're staring a home game in week 1 right in the face. And that's big because going to Norway is a 4.5-hour trip. Norway coming to you is a pretty comfortable day. Pickford going to try and bounce back here. This game has not been as lopsided as you would think just looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, that first drive, Pickford put together an impressive drive, got all the way down deep inside Indians territory, and then you had the high snap, fumble, turnover, ball goes to Newberry. Newberry had a fake punt they were able to be successful with. There at the end of the half, we saw the Panthers nearly put it in the end zone, only get called back for a chop block that erased it. So Panthers have been right there every time, and then just something happens, whether it's a call or a mistake that they make on their own that turns the ball over.
You hit the nail on the head when we broke for halftime. Boy, the worst case scenario just keeps happening over and over for Pickford. It's the worst thing that could happen on each play, and it's dug them this hole. But they are going to come out fired up and ready to go. Caleb Radel out for the game. First game back after tearing his ACL week 1. He's been battling that knee injury all year. He wanted to fight through it, a senior. It's the parents' night, last home game of the year. And give that young man credit for even toughing it out and trying to get back on the field. Just did not hold up. Best wishes to him. And hopefully not too much more damage. Rahali gets the kick return, comes outside. He'll spin off of Juarez, who has had a pretty good game. A touchdown run, a long one on the opening drive. Probably pushing close to 100 yards with the rest of his work. Biggest thing he's done is he's set Nutkins up perfectly for 2 read option touchdown runs. And the interception at the end of the half.
Yeah, definitely doing a little bit of everything this game, for sure.
Indians will break out. Rahali's going to line up at quarterback. Nutkins will go to the far side left. Juarez can't figure out what side. They flipped a bunch of stuff here, even the formation structure. Big gain up the middle for Juarez. Outside, Nutkins, who's used to getting blocked for, just kind of gets out in the way. Airplane mode into the house. 69 yards for Marco Juarez. I didn't know what Newberry was doing there, but they certainly did. Quarterback goes to receiver. You flip your wing. You flip your tight end. You go heavy, and Juarez just to the house.
Some deja vu there. First half, first play from scrimmage was a touchdown here. Second half, first play touchdown. Definitely not the start the Panthers were hoping for.
No, 28-0. Conversion coming here on a night where Newberry has thrown the ball 3 times. Their only completion is a fake punt. They have controlled it on the ground. Low snap, fake. Nutkins rolls. He's got room, but he's going to fire. And it's incomplete off the hands of Mohar. I think he thought that was going further to the corner in Depew, and it's 28-0. Well, now, what do you do if you're the Panthers?
Well, you get the ball, and hopefully you finally put it in the end zone for the first time tonight. And I'll give Newberry credit here to start the half. A lot of teams, you're up big, easy to let your foot off the gas, let the other team back in it, but not the case here to start the second half as they get it in the end zone.
Big old KO punch. They're coming out throwing haymakers.
Got to be happy if you're Coach Austin seeing the way your guys come out to start the second half.
He has seen plenty of Pickford in his time as the Engadine coach, when they were both still in 11-man, they shared a conference, and then they both made the move to 8-man about the same time. They played some dandies back there when the programs were making the playoffs every year. The run-up in the boot, Rahali, end over end, a thing of beauty. Fielded. Up come the Panthers. They go right into the abyss, and that is like a human demolition derby. 20 on the return. Cody Altoft. Only 3 Altofts on the varsity. We got a Raider coaching and playing. We got 3 Raiders managing. We got a Raider on the headset as an assistant coach. High formation. Flag. Newberry lines up off sides. Far side defensive end. The one they missed earlier. Tommy McKee is almost back to even. It was funny. I ran into the officials down at halftime, was talking to them. Tommy McKee runs the youth football league in the EUP. He was talking to him. Oh, and another whistle. That's going to be a first down Panthers. Same thing. Same player. You ever seen that before?
No, I've never seen that, and Coach Austin can't be too thrilled about back-to-back offsides penalties.
Tommy McKee said, Newberry sidelines have been doing the hollering, even though the calls, the big ones, have been against Pickford. And it's funny, his side judge said, I remember when you were coaching, it was absolutely terrible. Tommy McKee switched over to the dark side from doing the yelling to getting yelled at. Up the middle. A 1st and 10 without a snap. Panthers get a short gain. Newberry, we've seen them do some different things tonight. They go with the big fella Pavey, 76, putting him right on the nose. That's allowed them to go back to that 3-man front. As we've seen, Newberry's played 5 up on the line of scrimmage. They've sent their linebackers. But as this game gets into a situation where the Panthers are going to throw the ball a little bit more, it's good to have those extra guys back in coverage.
Absolutely. Definitely allows them to make sure they don't give up anything deep.
Pickford's had some chances in the passing game. Altoft reverses. Nobody has the backside contained. Matty Rahali just flies to the play. Boy, that was scary. Newberry had one of those go against them big a couple weeks ago. Same situation where nobody was on the backside for the cutback. 3rd down, about 6.
Got to have this pickup if you're the Panthers.
Yep. Burton's going to come up. They're going to go 4-man front. Juarez, who's like a hybrid, is a corner and outside backer. They fake draw, roll out. Altoft scrambling, breaks a tackle, drugged down from behind. He is going to be a half yard short. And if I'm the Panthers, no doubt about it, I'm going for her here.
Altoft looked like he was dead there in the backfield, somehow got out of it and ended up getting positive yards there on the run.
Should have been a sack and a loss of about 6. It's a gain of 5. Ball at the 50. Juarez now will move up. Little confusion.
Watch for that hard count again.
Watch that far side defensive end. Oh, a little flinch. Didn't go across. And a timeout for Josh Rader. So Newberry was kind of shuffling around there. Clock didn't stop. Clock still didn't stop. Tom McKee's trying as he might.
I'd like to take this time to thank our chain gang down there.
4th and a half a yard for the Panthers and a 28-0 contest, 8:42 to go. Pickford's kind of teetering on that edge right now where you look at like the average time of possession. They're getting to the point where they need 4 scores. They might get it 4 or 5 times left the remainder of the game.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky. They got to get a stop. Pickford will line it up, base set. Newberry goes into that 50. Altoff fakes left, comes right, lowers the shoulder, first down. That's all you need there. That's a one-play separate series on its own. They've been pretty good in the 3rd and short and the 4th and short.
Yeah, they really have. Just give it to Altoff and let him do the rest. You had that one high snap fumble in the first half when they tried to switch things up a little bit, but you keep Altoff back there and good things happen.
Want to thank you for tuning in, watching, listening, wherever you may be across the EUP tonight. Big ball game here. Newberry's controlled it so far. Altoff, his lane gets taken away there, kind of high load. Luck and Juarez having themselves both a day. Be interesting down the stretch here. Obviously, I keep talking a lot about the playoffs. If Pickford finds their way in, and Rudyard would also make it in, that would probably push the Panthers south of the bridge in a regional that they could probably win. Of course, Rudyard's still got to take care of business, depending on what happens with them the last 2 weeks. Another missed snap. Up for grabs. Indians have it. Jacob Mohar jumps on top of it. No. Juarez jumps on it. This might be old jugular time for Newberry here. They will take a shot. I will tell you that right now. Up 28-0. They're playing with house money. Coach Klickner calling the plays as the offensive coordinator over there. You might want to take a shot, although handing it off has worked just fine. Fake to Juarez. Boot for Nutkins. Deep pass over the middle. Rahali leaps. Grab. Catch. Touchdown. Matthew Rahali.
It's like you've seen a few of their games before.
Yeah, climbs the ladder. That's the second ball we've seen tonight. Rahali threw the fake punt. It just hung up in the air forever. That is a heck of a throw by Gavin Nutkins. Rolling to the right and back across the body to the left. And Rahali just makes the one-on-one move. 34-0. Indians will go for 2. Didn't get it. It's the best defensive play of the night for the Panthers. They stack up the goal line and keeps the clock from running with 7:24, which is big for them because they need every second to climb back in this one. 34-0.
Another killer there, though, once again, driving.
Yeah. Did not think it would turn out like this. I was expecting a tighter ball game. But the Indians have had the better of the turnover battle. They've had the better of the penalties. Those are 2 big factors, and they have been able to hit on the big play. They have not had to play this ground and pound, slow physical football game that Pickford wanted.
Yeah, well, it seems like every time the Panthers get into Indians territory, it's either a turnover on downs, or they've got a penalty that erases some big play.
They have not been able to sustain the momentum.
So that's 2 plays from scrimmage this half and 2 touchdowns for Newberry.
Yeah, not bad. The longest drive of the night's 5 plays. And that was with a fake punt on 4th down where they came out and scored on the next play. Even when Pickford's had a stop, they don't get the stop. Do see some stubs rolling in for Newberry. Liam Nollette's going to come in on the defensive line. Hayden McNamara will come in the middle. Panthers go wing to the right, receiver to the right. They're just trying to open a lane. And McNamara, right on cue, makes the play.
Nice to see the Indians, despite being up big, still playing some hard-nosed defense down there.
Got Gary Klopp running the clock. And our legendary statistician, Roger Morrison, in the 258 goal game.
Roger Morrison doesn't miss anything here in Pickford. Just acknowledged him as 258th straight game. Do the math. He's been around a while. Mike Collins had to come out of retirement to do the PA here in Pickford tonight. Of course, we always got to thank Mama Susan, as I like to call her, Susan Eddington. She takes care of everything, the AD now. They finally realized she's been around so long, has been to so many of these things, that she actually knows what's going on more than anybody else. So she just becomes the AD this past summer. Because, well, nobody's going to know it more than Susan. She's been to probably 10,000 Panther events over the years. Rare to not see an Eddington on the field for Pickford. Rounds, going to boot. No chance. Raholly, sack. Bootleg to the left, and Raholly was shooting that gap. Midway point in the 3rd quarter. Chaz Bultema in for the Indians. Punt formation. The sack set up 4th and forever. Snap is low. Kick short. Takes a turn, and Newberry will get it at the 40-yard line. Indians were coming hard for that one. As you said, they are not letting up.
Well, the 40-yard line, great field position to start off. Do you see another pass here or one play and score? Or?
They might not have to pass it to score on one play.
Yeah, they've shown they can score on one play on a run as well, as they started the game that way.
Depew is now the flanker to the wide side with Nutkins. Raholly gives to Juarez. Breaks free. Nice juke. He's going to stumble. Keep going.
Wow.
He should have scored. A shoestring saving, touchdown saving tackle.
That would have been 3 plays, 3 scores.
Burton's checking out, so the second team offense is kind of shuttling around. Raholly's not a bad option for a backup quarterback.
Absolutely not.
Depew near side, Nutkins to the left. Give here, Juarez up the middle. Decides to take the more difficult route there. 2nd and 9. Shortest run of the night for Juarez. Yards per carry just took a big hit. Josh Rader. You know his guys aren't going to quit. They got to get some momentum for next week is their goal here coming out of this thing. Get out healthy. Raholly, option, Flip to Juarez. Marco to the corner. The entire town of Pickford chases him out of bounds. Indians are drawing in the sand here. 4:03 to go, third quarter, 34-0.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. Obviously, this game well out of the way for the Panthers to come back. But yeah, start looking at next week, preparing, work on some things that you can do. Looking forward, because obviously a must-win game next week against Cedarville Detour.
Those two teams, separated by only a few stretch of miles, are going to be ready to go. Rahalli ripped out of bounds. He's going to be short of the pylon.
Knocked out of bounds by number 58, Eli McDonald.
Nutkins will come get the play call. Juarez was coming out. They send him back in. We'll see what the Indians do here. Straight behind Juarez. Behind Rahalli. Touchdown for the Indians. Not as spectacular as their other ones, and they're going to kick the extra point as the T comes flying in, 40-0.
Nice to see a little bit different possession there. Take a few more plays. You said they haven't really had to rely on the ground and pound, but still only a minute. The longest time of possession they've had.
Panthers come across. But the only thing Rahalli struggled with this year has been the extra points. Coach Austin's fired up. He's still calling blocking assignments on the field goal. Almost blocked that thing. 3/4 of the way to Cedarville. You might have to pick that up on your way home. Rahalli booms it through. 41-0. Indians and Panthers.
Just about doubled their score from the first half.
Indians are closing in on shutout number 4. Be half the games they played. They only gave up 14 to Munising. 14 to Cedarville Detour. A late touchdown 2 weeks ago against Donaway. And that's it. Other than Rudyard, who was down 30-3 in the second quarter against the Indians, ended up cutting it to 37-30 at the final. Only one time this year, Newberry, and it's hard to do in 8-man football where points are plentiful. Only one game where they've given up more than 2 touchdowns. And all 3 of those of the teams that have scored 14 or more are possibly going to be in the playoffs. Defense has made a stand, and they will try to finish this one here. Altoft gets a good block, has room, gets leveled by Burton. Altoft, another 8 yards there.
Okay, the Indians' defensive player looked more shaken up than Altoff, though, after they got up.
Only 7 or 8 seniors on this team for Pickford. They'll be fine. I know everybody will probably freak out because they're not 9-0 or 8-1 or 7-2. Hard to imagine them not being in the playoffs. But they will be fine. I've seen what they do at the younger levels to develop players. This has kind of been a night that would put Pickford season kind of just in a microcosm. Injuries, bad breaks, bad bounces. They're really, really good for a game. They really, really struggle for a game. They got thumped by Munising a couple weeks ago. Everybody, you would have thought the sky was falling. They come back last week. Granted, it's Engadine, not a powerhouse by any means, but they executed really well last week. And they took care of business. And you thought, boy, Pickford's getting ready for this big late season run again. And now Newberry comes in, puts it on him, and then now you got to tip the seesaw back in your advantage next week. Been a tougher matchup this year for Pickford with teams.
Yeah, well, you mentioned them being so young, having a lot of sophomores, a lot of younger players. Those sophomores, when they were in 8th grade, season got cut because of COVID.
Yeah.
Ninth grade year, they only got a handful of games. So this is really their first full season, and here they are getting thrown in.
Yeah, you're jumping from middle school ball to varsity.
Just like that. So, yeah.
That's a big wake up. And tougher for a lot of these guys. They're playing different positions.
Mm-hmm.
The seniors ahead of them were playing these spots. Altoft was a defensive end and a wide receiver last year. Now he's playing quarterback and running the football 50 times a game. They had 2 guys that could do that last year. So even in the games that were up big, he didn't get a lot of carries. Nice hard run there. Miller's going to be back next year. He probably becomes the workhorse. Rounds will be back next year. The JV game was about the opposite of this one.
Yeah, so a lot of those young guys coming up. So
that's going to be the end of the quarter. Panthers broke the huddle to come up, but then see that they're looking at no time remaining. We'll step aside. 4th quarter coming up. I'm 123 FM in the UP Sports Network.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
All right, we are back in Pickford. Panthers with the ball. 1st and 10. They are again in Newberry territory after a big gain late in the quarter. Burton and Rahali getting after Miller there. 11:48 to go. It is under running time.
The second and about 6 for the Panthers.
a couple broken tackles there, and then finally brought down.
Jazz Boltman's going to get in there. Sorry, I was scanning the MHSA career wins list because Joe Austin is about to hit 200, which is kind of the magical number for high school football. You got to figure 9 games a year.
It's a lot of years.
200 is a lot of wins, and there's a lot of years where you don't get 9. Less than 20 coaches ever have won 300, and about another 20 more in the 200 win club.
That'll bring up a 4th and long 6 for the Panthers.
And a lot of these guys share the Hall of Fame with Coach Joe Austin. 4th down. Panthers hoping for something. Altoft rolls, throws, intercepted. Guess who? Marco Juarez. 2 interceptions. A run on the ground for a touchdown. He should get 2 assists. And with 9:38 to go, the Indians get the ball back, and the few Panther fans still in attendance are filing their way to the vehicles.
Well, once again, Panthers getting in Indians territory. Things looking promising, and another turnover. So good job there by the Indians defense stepping up and getting the interception by Suarez.
Career wins leader John Harrington at 443. Legendary Al Francasa, Royal Oak Triman, Birmingham brother Rice is second at 430. UP's all-time leader, the legendary Ken Hofer at Stevenson and Menominee, went 322, 146, and 2. His son is in the 200 win club, Chris Hofer at Kingsford, with 253 career wins. So big congrats to Coach Austin. He's not going to want to talk about it, though. He's going to talk about Engadine, and he's going to be fired up. Obviously, he's been on both sides of that rivalry. It'll be the 1 week a year of the year he's not allowed back in Engadine. Nutkins on the keeper, gets slowed down. This is Newberry's first 3rd down conversion from behind the sticks. But their first down plays have been money.
And the 1 4th down they had was the fake punt that they got.
Yeah. Not a bad night at all. Little Brown Jug on the line next week. Newberry hosts that Friday night, 7 o'clock. There will be no JV game. Bubble screen, broken up. That's a live ball. No, they'll call incomplete. It was tough to see where exactly Rahali was in that mass. I don't think Coach Rader's going to like that too much. Although it was 3rd and long. Bomb squad from the coach. Indians will punt.
Or will they?
If they run a fake punt here, I would not want to be in the handshake line after the ball game. Snap, good. Hold, good. Kick, good. Rahali booms it off the hands. Guess who's closing in? Juarez almost got it. He did come up with it, but he goes out of bounds. Panthers will get the ball. Can't tell Marco it's 41-0. He was the gunner on the far sideline coming across.
Yeah, came all the way across there, almost got it. So props to him for hustling here, despite the game being well in control.
Deep safety for the Indians. Second team is on. Keep an eye on number 10, Ethan Salter. 3 interceptions and a pick 6. That's how deep Newberry's been this year. Big push. Salter is in on that play, along with Nutkins, who's learning a thing or two about defense. Baltimore up front with Stilson. Diego Caballero in the blue sleeves is the foreign exchange student this year. Millette on the far side up front. Nelson comes in for Juarez. His white jersey's almost black. Nutkins, Salter, Hakeem Jackson. He's got deep pass. That's his responsibility. 15 yards off the ball. Panthers up the middle. Nothing doing. Caballero. Hagen's another good young player. .445 to go.
This is where your pride really kicks in if you're the Indians defense, just want to finish this game with a shutout.
I don't know if there's another team that's got 4 shutouts in 8 weeks. Boot pressure. Millette overruns it. Quarterback scrambles. It's going to be a gain of about 4 back across the line of scrimmage. 4th down coming up. Punt team coming on for Pickford. Indians change it up. Salter will drop back. Snap. Punt. It's low line drive. Salter lets it go. Ryan Nelson comes creeping in there. Indians will get it back, and they just got to put the bow on it here. 3:20. By the time we get set and go, they're only going to need a first down. Referees will move a little bit slower, too. Hakeem Jackson in. Indians don't have enough. Mohar is getting the play, the 3rd string quarterback. Indians are building an offense on the fly here. Salter will come racing out. Indians might get a delay of game here. They'll just line 3 guys up. Give here. Kennedy Depew is the 3rd string running back. Gain of 1. Josh Rader gives a little fist bump to Altoft coming off the field. Him and Miller had a tough night tonight. And for the most part, they competed well. The Panthers just could not get out of their own way. You give a team like Newberry extra chances, this is what happens. Mohar on the read option. Leveled out of bounds. And will not stop the clock. 3rd down, 3 to go. Well, more 2 to go. First down will lead to a kneel down for the Indians. Give to Hakeem Jackson, first career carry. goes nowhere. With 1:09 to go.
Jackson on the carry. He's brought down in the backfield.
Want to send out a shout out to Newberry assistant coach Joe Smithson. Is watching our feed down in Indiana. Best wishes to the family. Joe and his wife Michelle lost a family member this week. I know they've been on the thoughts and minds of the Newberry football program. Coach, be proud of your boys tonight. Hope to see you back soon. Indians show punt. Rahali is going to wait for the signal. Man, oh man.
Boomer. Kid's got a leg.
Oh, ball comes up loose. They'll fight for it. The Indians have it. Nope. Juarez is trying.
He's close both times in the last two punts.
That's your ball game. The Panthers started to run out, and the referees send them back, and we will exchange pleasantries at midfield. Newberry comes in and makes a statement, and it is now 6 in a row, 7-1 on the season. When we wake up, well, depending on what happens tomorrow with North Central and Norway, the Indians, this was the win that was going to move them up a spot. They are on track for home field in the first round and a potential rematch with the Mustangs. Pickford will have to pick up the pieces. Nobody in Cedarville or Detour is going to feel sorry for them coming in next week as rivalry week wraps up the regular season. And first off, let's start with the Panthers. The message from Coach Rader is you get ready to come off a tough loss and head into a week where you have to be at your absolute best.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it comes down to the last week of the season here for the Panthers coming up next week. And, you know, don't hold anything back. I mean, it's the last game of the season. You lose, you go home, you win. You hopefully do enough to get into the playoffs. So definitely want to make one last push if you're the Panther players. I know Coach Rader's going to have them ready to go next week.
Indians earn a long weekend with a big win here. The roll continues. 6 in a row, 7-1. They're right where they want to be, and they just got to keep taking care of business. Engadine in the Little Brown Jug for next week as they sing loyalty. Congratulations to Coach Austin. 200 career wins for him, and we'll catch up with him during the week. Going to let him celebrate with the players. The balloons are out, and his wife, I'm sure, made the trip over tonight. So give credit to Coach Austin because things were kind of contentious this summer. A lot of different players and people in the program were pulling in different directions. He's got his team 7-1 headed into the final week. Travis, want to thank you for joining us. Newberry 41, Pickford 0, your final here in this one. Also want to thank Steve Stifler for producing our in-game content as well. And we hope that you join us next time for more high school football with M123 FM and the UP Sports Network.
Tonight's Newberry Indians football broadcast has been brought to you by Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center, the Lewis County Veteran Services Office, Dr. Derek Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Centers, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis, Louisiana Pacific Corporation, and the Newberry News. Join us next time for more live video action of local high school sports, only on M123 FM and the EUP Sports Network.